Have you ever looked up at the night sky and wondered, are we alone? Life on Earth is one of the greatest mysteries in the entire universe. How did it all begin? Why is our planet teeming with such incredible diversity, while countless others drift silently through space, seemingly lifeless? Today, we're going to embark on an epic journey through time, exploring the incredible story of life, from its very first spark to the tantalizing possibility of finding it beyond our world. Our story begins a very, very long time ago, about 4.5 billion years ago to be precise. That's when our planet Earth was born. But this wasn't the beautiful blue and green world we know today. The early Earth was a terrifying, hostile place. Imagine a giant ball of molten rock, constantly bombarded by meteors and comets crashing down from space. Volcanoes erupted non-stop, spewing lava and filling the sky with poisonous gases. The air was thick, suffocating, and completely unbreathable. In this chaotic, fiery environment, the very idea of life seemed utterly impossible. It was a world of destruction, not creation. But then, something miraculous happened. As Earth slowly cooled over hundreds of millions of years, water vapor in the atmosphere condensed and fell as rain, forming the first oceans. And it was in these ancient primordial oceans, around 3.5 billion years ago, that the first signs of life appeared. These weren't dinosaurs or plants, but tiny, simple microorganisms. Single-celled life forms, so small they were completely invisible to the naked eye. You couldn't see them, but they were there, quietly multiplying in the dark waters. These humble, microscopic beings were the ancestors of every living thing that has ever existed. They were the very beginning of the long, complex story of life on Earth. For nearly 1 billion years, these simple organisms had the planet to themselves. The world was still a very alien place. Critically, the atmosphere had almost no oxygen. But then, a new type of microorganism evolved, cyanobacteria, and they had a revolutionary new trick up their sleeves called photosynthesis. Just like plants do today, they use sunlight to create energy, and as a byproduct, they released oxygen. At first, it was just a tiny amount. But over millions and millions of years, these tiny bacteria pumped out so much oxygen that they fundamentally changed the entire planet. This event, known as the Great Oxidation Event, was one of the most important moments in Earth's history. This new, oxygen-rich atmosphere was toxic to some of the early life forms, but for others it was the key that unlocked a whole new world of possibilities, paving the way for larger, more complex life to evolve. With oxygen in the air, life was ready for its next big leap. Slowly, over hundreds of millions of years, more complex organisms began to appear. First came multicellular life, then creatures with shells and skeletons. The famous Cambrian explosion saw a dramatic diversification of life in the oceans, but the land remained empty. Then, driven by competition and opportunity, life began to conquer the continents. Plants were the first pioneers, turning the barren rock into green landscapes. Then came the animals. Fins slowly evolved into legs. Gills were supplemented by lungs. Creatures adapted, evolved, and spread across the globe. This led to the age of amphibians, then reptiles, and eventually the age of the dinosaurs. For an astonishing 165 million years, these powerful giants ruled the Earth. From the towering Argentinosaurus to the fearsome Tyrannosaurus rex, they were the undisputed masters of the planet. But the story of life is not just one of evolution, it's also one of extinction. Our planet has experienced at least 5 major mass extinction events, where a huge percentage of all species disappeared forever. The most famous of these happened 66 million years ago. A massive asteroid, estimated to be about the size of Mount Everest, slammed into the Earth. The impact created a global catastrophe. Dust and debris blocked out the sun, plunging the planet into darkness and causing temperatures to plummet. The age of the dinosaurs came to an abrupt and violent end. But every end is also a new beginning. This disaster, as devastating as it was, opened up a new evolutionary path. With the giant reptiles gone, the small, furry mammals that had been hiding in the shadows finally had their chance to thrive. And this is where our own story begins. From these early mammals, a new branch of the evolutionary tree emerged, the primates. And then, finally, around 300,000 years ago, our own species, Homo sapiens, appeared in Africa. Compared to the dinosaurs, we were not particularly strong or fast, but we had something special, an incredibly complex brain. With our intelligence, we developed sophisticated tools. We learned to control fire, and we created language to share knowledge and cooperate in large groups. From painting on cave walls to building sprawling cities and launching spacecraft to the stars, humans have transformed the planet in a way no other species has ever done before. In just a geological blink of an eye, we went from being just another animal to becoming the dominant force on Earth, which brings us back to that initial question, are we alone? After this incredible 4 billion year journey of life on our own planet, it's a question that scientists are more determined than ever to answer. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, contains hundreds of billions of stars, and we now know that most of those stars have planets orbiting them. That means there are billions, perhaps trillions, of planets right here in our own cosmic neighborhood. And while many of them are likely barren and hostile, like the early Earth, some might have just the right conditions for life to begin. Some have water, some have protective atmospheres, and some orbit their stars in the Goldilocks zone, where it's not too hot and not too cold for liquid water to exist on the surface. We may not have found definitive proof yet, but the odds suggest that Earth might not be the only living world out there. The search for extraterrestrial life is already underway. Right here in our own solar system, Mars is a prime target. We know it once had rivers, lakes, and possibly even an ocean. Could microbial life still be hiding beneath its red soil? Then there's Europa, one of Jupiter's moons. Beneath its thick, icy shell lies a vast, dark, liquid water ocean warmed by tidal forces from Jupiter. This ocean might contain more water than all of Earth's oceans combined, and it's considered one of the most promising places to look for life. Beyond our solar system, telescopes are discovering thousands of exoplanets. Some of these distant worlds look tantalizingly similar to our own. Scientists can even study their atmospheres for biosignatures gases like oxygen or methane that could hint at the presence of life. The hunt has just begun. The story of life on Earth is a tale of incredible resilience, breathtaking complexity, and sheer luck. It reminds us of our profound responsibility to protect this beautiful, fragile planet, the only home we have ever known. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through time, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more adventures into science and the universe. We'll see you in the next one.